All right, let's jump right in. In the world of scientific research, there's this really powerful idea that we don't talk about enough: your bibliography. That list of sources at the end of your paper, it isn't just a list. It's basically your signature. It's a statement about who you are.
You've probably heard this old saying a million times, right? The idea that the company you keep says a lot about your own character. It's simple, common sense wisdom for our social lives. But what happens when you take that exact same idea and apply it to your academic work? Does the intellectual company you keep, the authors and ideas you surround yourself with, also define you? Oh, you better believe it does. Absolutely.
Look, no academic paper just materializes out of thin air. It's always a conversation. You're building on an entire tradition of thought, you're engaging with long-standing debates, and you're using evidence that's already been put to the test by the scientific community.
So what this really boils down to is that choosing your references isn't just some technical box-checking exercise. It is a profound choice. It's the moment you plant your flag and declare your entire approach to how knowledge is even built, and the ethical standards you're holding yourself to. So let's really lean into this metaphor for a minute. Let's talk about your companions. In research, your companions are the authors you cite. These are literally the intellectual friends you're choosing to invite into your work and into your argument.
Now, citing well-known authors isn't about, blindly following authority. It's way more strategic than that. Think of them as anchors in a huge ocean of information. Their ideas have been through the ringer. They've been tested, criticized, and tweaked over time. When you cite them, you're docking your own ship in a well-known harbor. But if you ignore them, well, that can be a huge red flag that you might not know the lay of the land.
Okay, let's take this analogy one step further. If the authors are your companions, then the journals they publish in, well, those are the places you all hang out. They're the venues, the clubs, the meeting halls where these big intellectual conversations are actually happening.
And this is why the place you choose matters so much. On one hand, you've got quality journals. They're the real deal, with tough peer review processes, crystal clear standards, and a real commitment to good science. They build trust. And on the other side, you've got predatory journals. They have no real validation, and frankly, they're a huge risk, potentially polluting the entire field with bad or even fake information. The venue choice is critical.
And you know what all of this, the right companions, the right places, builds up to? Trust. It's the most important currency we have in science. Your references are basically a pact you make with your reader, a promise that you're being honest and transparent. Just put yourself in the reader's shoes for a second. When your references are solid, you're empowering them. You're giving them the tools they need. They can read your argument, sure, but then they can actually go back and check your sources themselves. They can see where your ideas came from and understand the boundaries of your work. It's about respect for your reader.
And hey, let's get one thing straight, because this is a super common mistake. A strong paper isn't about having the longest bibliography. It's not a numbers game. It's all about quality. Are your citations coherent? Are they actually relevant to your point? And are they solid, trustworthy sources? That's what really counts.
Ultimately, everything we're talking about here comes down to this one central concept: scientific responsibility. It's this deep understanding that knowledge isn't built by one person in isolation. It's a team sport. It's collective, it's cumulative, and it's critical. And citing your sources properly is how you show you're a responsible player.
So let's bring this all home. Every single choice you make, the authors you decide to listen to, the journals you decide to publish in and cite, all of it comes together to build your identity as a researcher.
I just love this morning from the source material. It's so memorable. It says you have to run away from sausage science, that's where you just stuff your paper with a bunch of irrelevant filler citations, and reheated science, which is just dressing up old ideas and trying to pass them off as new. Both of those things totally undermine what science is all about.
So in the end, the intellectual company you keep, it literally forges your credibility. It builds your identity as a thinker, and it determines whether or not you're making a real contribution to what we know as a species.
And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? That simple, ancient piece of wisdom. It turns out it's just as true in the lab and the library as it is out in the real world. Who you walk with intellectually tells everyone exactly who you are.
So that leaves just one final question, and this one is for you. Take a hard look at your own work, your own bookshelf, your own reference lists. Does the intellectual company you're keeping, does it really reflect the kind of researcher, the kind of thinker you truly want to be? Something to think about.